Okay, good morning, Deans of the Council of IT Deans of Thailand, representative from National Institute of Advanced Industrial Science and Technology, Japan, invited keynote speakers, deputy deans, faculty members, distinguished guests, students, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second day of the 2017 Second International Conference on Information Technology, or NCIT 2017. My name is Bunsit Jimwasana. I am honored to be the master of ceremony again today. Continuing from yesterday, today there will be a keynote session by Associate Professor Chunhua Su from the University of Aizu, Japan, for the topic of cryptography-based solutions for security and privacy in e-health environment. After the first keynote session, there will be a special opening ceremony for the Mahidol AIST Research Unit with the nickname Maru. Followed by the special Maru Symposium by the researchers from the National Institute of Advanced Industrial Science and Technology and Mahidol University. After the Maru Special Symposium, and then we will have lunch on this floor, and after that, there will be a keynote session by Associate Professor Kazumasa Omote from University of Tsukuba for the topic of towards highly dependable cloud storage. And then after that, there will be the final parallel paper presentation sessions. And the detail of the program schedule is posted online and also in your registration booklet. So I would like to thank everyone for being here today, and I hope that you will enjoy the conference today. Now it is a good time to invite Associate Professor Chunhua Su from the University of Aizu, Japan, for the topic of cryptography-based solutions for security and privacy in e-health environment. Associate Professor Chunhua Su is an associate professor at the University of Aizu, Japan. His research area is in information security with focus on preserving technology in big data, security, privacy for the IoT devices, crypto analysis, cryptographic protocols. He received his bachelor's degree from the Beijing Electronic Science and Technology Institute from China, and master's degree from Kyushu University, Japan, and Doctor of Engineering from Kyushu University, Japan. He has published numerous research publications in top conferences and journals in the area related to the Internet of Things and information security. So, Associate Professor Chunhua Su, would you please?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Chunhua Su from Aizu University. So today I will give a talk about the cryptography-based security and privacy in the e-health environment. So we're talking about cryptography. Well, it's very close and useful in our everyday life. For example, when you go to the city, then you want to withdraw your money, then you have to go to ATM. In fact, the ATM is equipped with the advanced cryptography to protect your IC card and your password. Okay, then when you're using the Wi-Fi in the campus or outside, or your communication is encrypted under cryptography, then when you're using the access code, your access code will be encrypted and sent to the router. Then router will make the authentication to justify whether your communication will be established or not. Also, when you're using your credit card in the net shopping on Amazon or other net shop, then every transaction was protected by cryptography. So cryptography is very important factors in to secure our everyday life. Okay. So when we're talking about cryptography, I mainly was focused on the public key cryptography. So public key cryptography is one of the cryptography was proposed about 30 years ago. Okay, so when talking the public key cryptography, there was two parties, for example A and B. When you want to send your plain text, for example, your email to your friend, then you have to encrypt. Okay. When using the public key, it is very convenient that we have a two key pair, the public key and secret key. when your friend holding the secret key, then only your friend can make the decryption, right? Then you're using your friend's public key, then encrypt the email, then send to the friend. Then everyone can send, okay? Then only your friend can encrypt it, decrypt it, okay? So it's quite different from the symmetric key. Symmetric key, you have the same key, then normally you encrypt the movie or you do the multimedia encryption and so on. But yeah, we use public key to implement more functionality, okay? So in the medical environment, for example, currently so the government sponsors a lot of the e-health project to secure the security and privacy and so on in the medical environment. So when we're talking about privacy, so yeah, it's when we refer to the personal, individual information. For example, the anonymity, your name, your address, your telephone. So that's your privacy have to be protected. When we talk about confidentiality, for example, your cartel, okay, so your X-ray pictures sometimes was encrypted under the hospital server, okay. Also, we have to design the security mechanism. At first, we have to set out policy, then who can see your cartel, who can access these contents in hospital servers. Also, to design a system to protect the health information is very important in the e-health security and privacy protection. So, okay, today I will talk about this aspect, how to protect the information and the patient from the hospital and so on. So still make the convenient medical service available. Okay. So today I was going to talk about 3 topics. One topic is how to secure and ensure the traceable medical data. So when you go to hospital, you have to make a payment, or you have a bank account and such information. Also, you have your profile information, for example, your age, your address, your contact numbers, and so on. And you have your medical history stored in the hospital's servers. So the server may be open to public or not. Normally, it's protected inside of the hospital. Also, the hospital will collect your personal data. For example, your gene data, they want to make a further analyze, okay? So this is a very important issue to deal with this data. So currently, the big data areas, okay, many researchers mention the big data. So normally, the medical data is one of the big data because the volume is so big, so we have to make some technique to deal with such big data. So how to distribute the data in a secure and traceable way? For example, one person, okay, in hospital A, they want to transfer to hospital B, then a lot of the security issue happen. So there's some lawsuit against you transfer your hospital data to another hospital. So when you go to another hospital, you have to make a CT scan or make a X-ray again. So it's not so convenient. So we need a more convenient and more secure way to protect our data flow. Okay, but the encryption, okay, we just encrypt it, but after encryption, there's a lot of problem, right? The encrypt data means they don't reveal anything that you can use. So when some data is encrypted, then you cannot use it until you make the decryption. Okay, so how to overcome this disadvantage is one of our research topic. Our scenario is we have a three party. One is the patient, is data owner. Okay, they own the data, the X-ray and your heartbeat and a lot of the hospital records. Okay. And the data storage servers inside the hospital, and the data analyzed in situ. For example, in some countries they have more advanced research institute for the advanced medical research. They want to collect the data from the patient and from the hospital, right, to make further research. Thus, we want to make the data really secure, to protect its confidentiality, and we can make the child editable. Then it means who can see my data when we put the data along the hospital A, hospital B, and C, until, for example, the cancer research institute. So we want to make everything is controllable and visible for our data flow. For example, we also want to make sure that there was a mutual traceability. It means that when you accept data, so when you analyze data, you feel some rare case of disease, then you can really quickly feedback to the patient. Okay. So, okay. Our motivation is some hint from the functional encryption. Okay, we use our construction is so constructed under the functional encryption. Functional encryption is very, very useful encryption, so we can embed a lot of the advanced functional. For example, you can really design the policy in advance. Then you can design the who can decrypt and who can see the information and so on. Also, they can make the keyword combination and make lots of the condition to be embedded inside the cyber attack. Okay. In fact, the identity-based encryption is one of the functional encryption. So when doing the public key, the traditional public key, you have to make the public key according to the identity, right? So you have to rely on such an authority. But when using the identity-based, you can generate your key using your identity. For example, your email, okay, your mobile numbers, and your some credit card numbers, everything, then belong to your identity. You can using it to generate encryption key, so everyone can send you the encrypted message using your identity-based secret key. Okay. And our construction also follow the attribute-based encryption. That means we have designed the attribute at first. If the attribute is equal to true, then inside the value X will be open, and you can decrypt the X. Okay. Also, the functional encryption. So the functionality, for example, you want to compute some data analyze. For example, you want to find out who has the cancers from a lot of the picture, okay, and laboratory data. Then you design such a function. Then X is hidden. Then after the encryption, you can really get the function computation. Okay, so when you're doing the encryption, and you still can make the computation on the ciphertext. Okay, this is very convenient that because you don't have to decrypt every time you want to use the message. Okay. So our construction, in fact, is combine the attribute-based encryption. Then we add the traceability in the keyword search with asymmetric convention. Then we develop our attribute-based keyword search using the encryption. Then we add the proxy decryption property to build attribute-based data share the keyword search. Okay. Then, for theoretically, we prove that our scheme is secure under chosen ciphertext security using the public key assumption. Okay. Then we also add the keyword update because the medical data were transferred to many hospitals. Okay, then there's a lot of keywords. Then you can add the keywords, for example, the patient's name or the hospital's name, and later on, then we still can manage the system. Okay. Our proposal is for data traceability with the searchable attribute-based proxy encryption. That means, so along the view, you can design the loop, the hospital, then the hospital will do the encryption for you, then share your data. So it's a very, very convenient property. We're also using the attribute-based encryption system that can provide expressive. That means you can combine, for example, you have disease and the age, and you can combine these things to generate the encryption key for your attribute. Okay. So our system implementation is that we have a expressive data distribution. That means this functional base. Okay, you can compute your encryption under such a functional when you analyze the hospital data. Then we have the data traceability. Okay, where a single multiple choice keyword we can trace, we can find out whether my cartel or with my hospital record, what is current location of my hospital records. Okay, you can change all the data. So they have a traceable privacy that the data servers must not know the keyword. Even you store, you put your data to another hospital, but the other hospital cannot see your secret, the keyword inside the information. Okay? That can really hide your privacy against the malicious servers. Also, we have the payload privacy. That means data owner, what I store and return is not revealed to the server if the patient didn't authorize the hospital can make the decryption. Yeah. Also, we have a data distribution with trace keyword and share traceability as well. So we conjunct our system. We have a storage server here. We have storage server B here. Then we have a token, exchange token. For example, the hospital A, they manage the storage server A, then they generate a token to encrypt the data, then regenerate another cartel encryption and send to the B. Okay, then the B can update the tracing tag, and after several rounds of the conversation, then we can transfer the patient's record to the server B. Okay, then the server B can make an encryption, then renew the whole system. Okay. So here is the system overlook. Within the hospital, okay, we have medical data here, and everything is encrypted. So the patient, the data owner, they design the policies. For example, the data owner only allow that hospital A, from hospital A to hospital B to some analyzed institute can decrypt the data, and other hospital cannot decrypt. Okay, he can embed the system, the policy inside of the key generation. So the key means some key. Okay, it's encryption key is a string of the random numbers. It looks like the key to lock down your records and cartel. Okay, so the data owner secret key, only the data owner can do the encryption at the beginning, but the data owner can make the policy encryption. For example, he authorized the hospital A to manage the data for him, then he can make the authorized route. Okay, then the hospital A can make a decryption, then encrypt again along this loop. Okay, this is according to the predetermined policy. So this is a very flexible way to manage the hospital data when there was a law to protect the patient's privacy. Okay. So after the analyze in situ, for example, we find out some severe disease for the data owner, then he can, using the tag, to trace back to the data owner. Okay, so it means only, so for only this specific data owner can be trained, okay, when you authorize this loop. Okay. So this is very convenient to protect the data owner's privacy and data security when you're doing the e-health big data management. Okay. Okay, for the next topics, I will talk about the Internet of Things for medical information system. So this quite hot topic is very big emerging market in nowadays. So the hospitals using the sensor device and wearable device to monitoring the patient at home or in a hospital building, right? This device is very cheap and sometimes can just and the microcontroller something. So it's quite difficult to implement the full cryptography inside such things. Okay, so our major topic is how to protect the security and the Internet of Things, and to make sure that when the patient and the hospital, when you adopt this system, we still can protect the security. Okay. Normally, we have these models, the IoT end nodes, for example, the chips and the sensors, or the for the sensor to collect your heartbeat, your blood pressures, and normally they get the patient's data transferred via the gateway to upload to the cloud service. Okay. So our major research is for the crypto for IoT, okay, cryptography. So it's very difficult to implement to protect the IoT security and inside the small IoT devices, because they have a smaller memory, they have less computational resource to implement such cryptography. Okay. Currently, me and my team was working on the lightweight symmetric key to optimize the cryptography primitive inside the IoT, right? So you still can do the encryption where some algorithm modification. Okay. Normally, I'm doing the ECC, then also focus on the post-quantum cryptography, and from physical and computational. For example, using the path-based cryptography to generate the secure key to transport the patient's data where the gateway to the cloud service. Okay. Today I will skip the details of implementation, but directly to the cyber-physical system using in the hospital. So, okay, where the cyber-physical system, for example, the wearable device that you can collect the patient's information, then upload to the hospital. So, one part of my research is focus on such things. Okay. The first one is the false alarm reduction for medical cyber physical system. This is joint work with Dr. Meng in Denmark University of Technology. So we focus on the medical sensors networks. This is very important to explain this in the hospital to enable a lot of application in healthcare domain. However, the sensor sometimes will generate a large amount of false alarm. So, for example, for millions of sensors, you collect the data and it's really easily for the errors happen. So they will generate a lot of false alarm. There will be a very resource consumption. So we want to reduce to find out the way to make a reduction of such false alarms. Okay. So the cyber physical system we care about here is because it's you can collect the data. Okay, in the sensor in the hospital, you can put it anywhere. You can collect data anytime for anything. You can collect for the patient's information, for example, the heartbeat, blood pressures, and a lot of things. Also, you can collect the temperature inside the room. You can collect the information for track down the patient's movement and so on. Okay, so this is very important to enhance the cyber-physical system security, right? So our architecture is that the high-level architecture we develop the filter. Okay, this is a filter for that which consists of the 5 main components. Okay, this is using the data standardization and data storage. So at first we have a sensor alarm. Okay, we collect a lot of sensor alarm. Then we make the data standardization and make a data storage. Also, before we do the analyze, we have a lot of the classic classifier training. We have to train the data. Okay, to train. After the training, then we can make the alarm classification according to the classification algorithm in the data mining. Okay, then we can make a decision whether the component is false or not. Okay, then after the filter, we can make the alarm. So it means not all, just a big part of the false alarm will be filtered when using our architectures. Okay, so we make an experimental analysis for that. We employ the 3 data sets to investigate the setting of fuzzy if-then rules. So we found that the fuzzy if-then rule is more work better than other algorithms. Okay, then for example we collect the data from the healthcare environment. We can take the alarm ID and blood pressure, heart rate and pulse and the respiration rate and oxygen saturation. Okay, so to compare the performance, we select a 6 traditional algorithm to compare. But we propose the fuzzy if-then rules. We want to show that our proposal work better. So compare the performance. We select the K nearest neighbors, natural network, a support vector machine, and decision tree and Bayes and simplification. For example, 0x. We use the default vector setting for each algorithm and choose a 10-fold cross validation. Here we present both a simulated analyze and the real-world analyze. First, our simulated analyze is like this. We select the data set and we show that the first average is performance of the fuzzy if-then rules by selecting the different number of fuzzy subset. Okay. At first, the subset is 9, then we found that the subset number is 7 is performed quite better than other number. Also, for comparison with the data mining algorithm, we found that the fuzzy if-then rules work better. than the existing algorithm. Okay. Also, we have made a real environment analysis. We set up the experiment in China. We investigating whether our scheme is really working in the real environment. So, okay, we further cooperate in healthcare organization with China. We collect data. We set up a lot of the sensor in the hospital. Then the sensor, then we have a central server to collect the sensor alarm. Then we make a filterization. Okay, we make the 10 days of the experiment. Okay, so for day 1, day 2, we collect the data and to see whether our precision is increased or not. We see that our precision is quite stable, and the filtration rate is different from the day because the alarm format and there's some data variation. But however, we still keep our precision at the certain level. Okay. Also, we have doing the continuous authentication. Okay, continuous authentication is very important to using in the hospital to guarantee the security of the data collection. Okay, for the cyber physical system, for example, the Internet of Things, when you wear some watch or you wear the wearable medical equipment on you, then it's very difficult for you to input the passcode, okay, to unlock the device. So it's impossible. But at the same time, you still want to keep the security of the device, okay. You want to make the server believe that it's you to sending the data. Your device is not being hacked by the adversary behavior. So in this case, we use another authentication method compared to the traditional authentication. So the traditional one is, so what we have, for example, we have the password, your name, okay. Then what we know, for example, in knowing the secret information, okay. Then what we are, for example, we collect the biometric from the person, okay. We're using this from the login to logout. We want to make it more nature, okay, to compare to the traditional authentication. You don't have to unlock your device by every time you're sending the medical data to the central servers, okay. So the continuous authentication have quite become a hot topic in these 3 years, okay, since 2015. So a lot of the proposal was focused on this topic. Someone using the eye movement, okay, using the eye movement to identify yourself. Someone using the brainwave, okay, when you're thinking something. So everyone, the brainwave, when you see the picture or you saw the problem, then you send out the brainwave, okay. Everyone's brainwave is different. Also the face, okay. For example, the iPhone 10, they have a camera, then you recognize your face. So they have the ear, and you have the ECG heartbeat, and you have the voice, and also the keystroke, and the signatures, and anything. Okay. So the best way is to make it more nature. Okay. We make a evaluation matrix. So the general metric for performance evaluation for such a way is that to force accept rate, the rate that invalid user identify as a legitimate user. For example, someone stole your device, okay, they pretend that it was you. So for the server to accept such a false authentication, it have to be remain very low. Okay, the second one is the false rejection rate, the rate that the legitimate user identifies as a valid user. Okay. Third one is equal error rate. A common value is referred as the EER, and FER equal to FFR. Okay. So since 2015, there's a lot of the research. Okay, we compare the existing work. We want to make a modification and make things better to make it more acceptable for the practical usage. Okay. Okay, it seems that the performance is not so satisfactory. Okay, it's not so good for the practical use. So we find out that why not using the Plata biometrics. This is a joint work with Professor Kuo Hui in Donghua University of Taiwan. We cooperated with the Taiwan Hospital to implement such a system. Okay, so we make a wearable IoT device, put the sensors. So we think that compared to the existing scheme, so we want to find a more natural way. It's the walk. When you walk around and your server is recognize you, then collect your data. So it's using the pattern of the human foot and walking and your weight and so on. Okay. So when you just walk in the hospital, then the server can unlock and collect your information. Okay. So our system architecture is that we want to make things universal, universality. The characteristic being measured should be nature, okay, its footprint, and the sufficient different characteristics for the verification. So it means, for example, you implement a system for more than tens of thousands of patients, then you can really work when you can make a different, collect a different to make the verification. The first one is the quantification. Is a characteristic can be measured by the quantitative manner. I mean, you can using the data mining algorithm, you can use the algorithm to justify the data. Okay, then it's a transparency. That means when I just walk around, then without my notice, then my data is collected and was sent out. Okay. So our system is we're training the data. We're training the right data, then also we're training the noisy data, then make the classifier. Then when selecting the classifier, we're using the spot vector machine and native Bayes to make the classification. So we make a implementation on the food, then using the sensor on the food, then to send out the information. Okay, and it's a wearable. So we make a experimental result. We let the student to collect the data from the student. Then we found that the authentication accuracy is better when using the SVM and GRBF, more better than the native Bayes. So it's quite practical when using the system. Okay. So thank you very much for your attention. So.
Thank you very much, Professor. I would like to ask the audience for any questions that you may have. Please go ahead. Are there any questions from the audience? Yes, please.
So my question is about the security for e-health data. So what is the most challenging issue? So what is the most challenging issue? So is it theoretical aspect or more practical? I mean the implementation level. What is the most challenging that the system could be used by practical? Yeah.
Yes, there's a lot of technologies. For example, the most challenging issue is the implementation. You can, in fact, for for every technical solution, you cannot achieve the 100% secure, right? So you still, when you really secure the encryption and you secure the server, but you still can have some insider attack. For example, your employee will steal the patient's data, or some data was pretend to be an email, send the email, then you unlock the email, then the virus will be attack your system. So the security issue is how to combine all the possible technology to secure the system. Yeah, my major focus is on the encryption and to make the security along the way is secure. But the attackers still can find a way to attack if they want, right? So it's very, very difficult to implement 100%. So I think that a good way is to make the good education for the employee to notify the dangers of the information security adversary behavior. So yeah, I think it's quite a challenging issue than the technical one. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Questions by Ajahn Peter, please.
What are the most likely kinds of attacks in terms of the motivations people might have? I mean, what are the attacks that would perhaps have the greatest economic benefit to somebody who's going to launch an attack? What are the things that one would be most important, the types of attacks would be most important to guard against?
Yeah, for consider the economy effect, the most important factor is the personal data. You can sell the personal data to other company, then this can make a lot of money, right? Your records, for example, when you hack the company's server, you can get a credit card and you can get a lot of things, okay? And the information can use further to launch another attack when you get the person's private information. Yeah. Also for the cyber-physical areas, that's very dangerous to control, the remote control the device without any authority. So yeah, there's two factors quite critical in the information security.
Any other questions? If there is no question, I have one question myself. This is related to the key management policy and also the authorization policy, that in one single organization there could be many employees come and go, and when they leave, sometimes the staff forgot to adjust or to modify the list of authentication database. What is the current best practice for making sure that once one single employee leave the company or they are no longer associated with this project, then they shouldn't have access to this information?
Yeah, to my knowledge, it depends on the company. Some company install the policy that you cannot bring your equipment, you cannot bring your cell phone inside of the development lab. You can bring your USB. For some company is that you cannot send anything encrypted outside. For example, you want to send your secret, your company secret to outside, then there's a gateway that they would edit your information. If this contains some company's secret, then they will stop the email. Also, there was a hardware solutions is that you implement the system that when someone plug your USB, then the USB cannot be authentication. So they deny the access to the data copy. So there's a lot of solutions. It depends on the company and depend on the what kind of the information consultant you are relying to. So it's quite flexible. It depends. Yeah.
That's it. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Professor. Next, we will have a short break. We have to wait for. Oh, sorry. We would like to invite Associate Professor Dr. Charansi Mitpanon to step up on the stage to give the token of appreciation to our keynote speaker, Associate Professor Chunhua Su. So, Associate Professor Charansi, please. The next session will be the opening ceremony of the Maru lab, and actually it's the official name is the opening ceremony for the AIST Thailand ITRI Satellite Unit and Mahidol AIST Research Unit or Maru lab. And for this moment, we are waiting for our university president to come in. So please wait a bit. I was told that he is very close by now. So at this moment, you can feel free to use the restroom. And then after this, once the president comes, we will continue the session. Good morning, Mr. Shiro Terashima, First Secretary, the Embassy of Japan. Dr. Yoshio Tanaka, Director of the Information Technology Research Institute, or ITRI, from National Institute of Advanced Industrial Science and Technology, or AIST, Japan. Professor Banjong Mahaisa Wariya, President of Mahidol University. Deans in the Council of IT Deans of Thailand, representatives from AIST, Japan, invited keynote speakers, deputy deans, faculty members, distinguished guests, students, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome you to the opening ceremony for the AIST Thailand ITRI Satellite Unit and Mahidol AIST Research Unit with the nickname Maru. The Faculty of ICT, Mahidol University and National Institute of Advanced Industrial Science and Technology, or AIST Japan, have closely collaborated in the area of research and student development since 2014. A number of publications and students who have advanced skills in computer science and information and communication technology are developed and strengthened in academic and research skills. This leads to the signing of the MOU between the two institutions in March 2017 this year, and the establishment of the AIST Thailand ITRI Satellite Unit and Mahidol AIST Research Unit, or with the nickname Maru, today. We are honored to have Mr. Shiro Terashima, the First Secretary of Embassy of Japan, Dr. Yoshio Tanaka, Director of Information Technology Research Institute, ITRI, from ICE Japan, and Professor Banjong Mahaisa Wariya, President of Mahidol University, with us today for the celebration of this establishment. First of all, to begin the official ceremony, I would like to invite Mr. Shiro Terashima, the First Secretary from Embassy of Japan in Thailand, to give congratulatory remarks for the opening of the ICE Thailand ITRI Satellite Unit and Mahidol ICE Research Unit, or Maru. Mr. Shiro Terashima, would you please?
Good morning, Sawadee Krap, Ohayo gozaimasu. So, Dr. Banchon, President of Mahidol University, Dr. Tanaka, Director of Information Technology Research Institute of AIST, and Dr. Jarian Si, Dean of Faculty of ICT, Mahidol University. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Japanese Embassy, I would like to start by saying it is truly a great honor for me to attend this opening ceremony. This year, 2017, is the 130th anniversary of Japan-Thailand diplomatic relations. Here you can see on the program of this opening ceremony, here is a logo of 130th anniversary of Japan-Thailand diplomatic relations. This logo is combining the national flags and the symbols from both countries, the elephant from Thailand and cherry blossoms from Japan. So it is stand for infinity of both our two countries. Anyway, so this year, 2017, 130 years have been passed since our diplomatic relations have started. But however, our close relationship dates back more. Japan and Thailand has been kept friendly relations for more than 600 years. So with such background, now the economic relationship between Japan and Thailand is very close and mutually complementary. For example, Japanese companies operating here in Thailand are more than 4,500. And the number of Japanese people living in Thailand is over 70,000. So this is the fourth rank in the world. The following United States, China, Australia, and fourth is Thailand. So not only economic tie, academic and scientific collaboration will become increasingly important. So now, over 45 Japanese universities have established their offices in Thailand, and many Japanese R&D institutions, including AIST, have their centers in Thailand. In such a close situation, now Thailand has tried to transform Thai industry into a high value added one by science, technology, and innovation under Thailand 4.0 to avoid falling into the middle income trap. We, Japan, as Thailand's strategic partner and friend, we would like to welcome such efforts. And indeed, we have actively strengthened our collaboration in science and technology for achieving high value added industry. In particular, investment in R&D and human resource development are critically important for achieving. In this regard, it is our mutual interest to promote academic collaboration between Japan and Thai, not only for upgrading Thai industry, but also for strengthening our friendship. Finally, I'd like to express my heartfelt congratulations again and my great respect to all concerned with this event. I believe that this event and this new labo will contribute to the development of Japan and Thailand academic collaboration. Thank you very much. ขอบคุณครับ ありがとうございました
Thank you very much, Mr. Shiro Terashima. Next, I would like to invite Professor Banchong Mahaisa-Wariya, President of Mahidol University, to give congratulatory remarks for the opening of the ICE Thailand ITRI Satellite Unit and Mahidol ICE Research Unit, or nicknamed MARU. Professor Banchong, would you please?
First Secretary of the Embassy of Japan in Thailand, Director of the Information Technology Research Institute, representative from National Institute of Advanced Industrial Science and Technology, executive distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor to be here as one of the guests to open address in this opening ceremony of the AIST Thailand ATRIR Satellite Unit and Mahidol AIST Research Unit, or MARU, MARU, at the Faculty of Information and Communication Technology of Mahidol University. Mahidol University has been collaborating with top universities and institutions in Japan in the area of education and research for more than 30 years. Several faculties, members, students of our university have therefore received generous support from Japanese government and institutions to study and gain academic and research experience in Japan. At the same time, Mahidol University also provides platform and human resources to help Japanese institutions conduct world-class research. Together, this joint effort contribute to quality research output and human resources development for the greater benefits of the society. Ladies and gentlemen, this year marks the 130th anniversary of Japan-Thailand diplomatic relations. In the line with this, mutual collaboration between Mahidol University and the National Institute of Advanced Industrial Science and Technology, which is one of the top public research institutions in Japan. This is one of the examples that prove sustainable partnership between Japan and Thailand. The establishment of AIST Thailand ITRI Satellite Unit and Mahidol AIST Research Unit, or MARU, lays a strong foundation for the long-term collaboration between the two institutions, which will initiate many academic and research activities, such as faculty and student mobility, research projects, and academic program development. As a researcher myself, collaborative research and academic projects are important as they are platform leading to network of researchers, systematic thinking, scientific methods, strong teamwork, and innovative solutions to many today's most important scientific challenges. On behalf of Mahidol University, I am very proud to witness a strengthened collaboration between Mahidol University and AIST and the establishment of AIST Thailand ATRIR Satellite Unit and Mahidol University AIST Research Unit, or MARU. Mahidol University encourages and supports this collaboration for the benefit of academic community across the world, not just Mahidol University community. As you may know, we open the door for mutual collaborations and innovative solutions for all kinds, since we aim to excel in health science and technologies, and social science for the betterment of Thai society and the benefit of mankind. To this end, I would like to thank the Faculty of Information and Technology, Communication Technology and National Institute of Advanced Industrial Science and Technology for tireless efforts and for making MARU a tangible collaboration. I also like to express my sincere thanks to the Embassy of Japan for your kind support, this collaboration, and for all guests witness to this opening ceremony. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Yoshio Tanaka, Director of the Information Technology Research Institute, or ITRI, from National Institute of Advanced Industrial Science and Technology, Japan, to give congratulatory remarks for the opening of the ICE Thailand ITRI Satellite Unit and the Mahidol ICE Research Unit, or MARU. Dr. Tanaka, would you please?
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Yoshio Tanaka of AIST Japan. First of all, I'd like to express sincere gratitude for everyone here, especially Mr. Terashima. Thank you very much for joining this event. And the President of Mahidol University, Professor Banchon. Thank you very much. Your great support for Maru activity is very much appreciated. And the Dean of Faculty of ICT, Professor Janshi, it's very easy to understand you did a great work, hard work with your colleagues for preparation of this event. Thank you very much for your great effort. AIST is one of the national research and development agency in Japan, and our research unit, ITRI, Information Technology Research Institute, belongs to the IT and Human Factors Department of AIST. And our research team of our research institute is in general IT, but to be more specific, security and advanced crypto systems and computer architecture and system software for high-performance computing and big data analysis, and human-computer interactions like visualization and virtual realities. And we are expected to give two kinds of impact. First one is academic impact by state-of-the-art basic research. Another one is economic impact by giving our technologies for industries, for innovation. And in order to make it, the key point is to build networks of human, organization, and technologies, which are not limited to Japan, but also must be extended to abroad. And I would strongly expect Maru will be a hub for growing the network, not only in Thailand, but also the Southeast Asian countries. So by technology transfers and research collaboration and education of young researchers. And it is really our great honor to attend this event as one of the celebrating events of 130th anniversary of Thailand-Japan diplomatic relations. And we promise that we will do our best for our future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tanaka. Next, I would like to invite Associate Professor Dr. Charansi Mitpanon, Dean of the Faculty of ICT, Mahidol University, to give congratulatory remarks for the opening of the ICE Thailand ITI Satellite Unit and Mahidol ICE Research Unit. Professor Charansi, would you please?
Good morning to all, particularly to Mr. Shiro Terashima, the first secretary from the Embassy of Japan, Professor Banchong Mahaisavariya, the president of Mahidol University, Dr. Yoshio Tanaka, director of the Information Technology Research Institute, I3, from National Institute of Advanced Industrial Science and Technology, or ICE, from Japan, fellow deans from the Council of IT Deans of Thailand, my keynote fellows from different parts of the world, colleagues, distinguished guests, authors, students, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome again to Faculty of ICT Mahidol University. So first of all, may I express my sincere gratitude to Professor Banchong, our president. I know that you are so busy today, but you give the highest priority and strong support to this event. And also to Mr. Terashima, the first secretary of the Embassy of Japan in Thailand, to give the highest honor and all the support for our Maru opening event. And I know that this is with your strong guest support, you can manage to be here on such a rapid development of this event. Thank you so much on that. In addition, you also register and mark this event as one of the events to celebrate the 130th anniversary of Japan and Thailand diplomat relations in 2017. And it is very, very important for us at Mahidol and also our friends from ICE. I am honored to be a part of the establishment of the ICE Thailand I3 satellite unit, and I believe that this is the first unit that we set up in this area and maybe in the world. And in addition, from this setting up, we also plan to have the Mahidol ICE Research Unit, or MARUT, at the Faculty of ICT, Mahidol University. Faculty of ICT is the youngest faculty in Mahidol University. Actually, we are only 8 years old, but we have been working so hard from the member of the faculties, the staff, and also the students. We have been regarded as the youngest and most successful faculty in Mahidol University, particularly to support the development of Thailand 4.0 of our country. I3 ICE Japan and ICT Mahidol from Thailand have developed strong friendships in academic and research activities for several years. To celebrate the 130th year anniversary of Japan and Thailand, my good friend, Dr. Tanaka, and we agree on the establishment of the ICE Thailand I3 satellite unit and MARU to be a part of the long-term friendship of Japan and Thailand, which grew from our two royal families' friendship. Very, very strong tie on that. The strategic visions of the ICE Thailand I3 satellite unit and MARU is to support long-term joint interdisciplinary research and technology transfer in high-performance computing, cybersecurity, car security, gamification, virtual reality, data analytics, and artificial intelligence, as well as related academic activities. The Satellite Research Unit will leverage synergies in research strengths among the two institutes in two countries. On the Japanese side, it is planned for the research unit to include participation of the various research groups of I3. On the Thai side, at the beginning, the anticipated participating units are several research groups of the Faculty of ICT, Mahidol University. And later on in the future, we will extend across the research universities network and ICT research institutes in Thailand, not limited to only Mahidol University. And maybe we will fulfill the dream of Dr. Tanaka to extend this to Southeast Asia and worldwide later on. And this satellite unit and MARU initiative is built upon a successful history of collaboration between ICE and Mahidol University since the first visit of Dr. Tanaka to ICT in 2012. I believe that at that time you did not have much idea about Faculty of ICT. I still remember in a small room that you present all the wonderful work of ICE to us. And I talked to myself at that time, how could I build and develop a very strong research unit to bring all the good technologies to have our student and later on our researcher to be on par with you. I hope that it is not a too far away dream. And in 2013, when the students from the Faculty of ICT participated in the research internship at I3ICE, till present, Mahidol University has sent 16 undergraduate students and 3 graduate students to carry out their internship research at ICE. Specifically, all of our internship students, they are the 3rd year undergraduate students, and they have been working so hard in the advanced lab with the master and PhD student. So I myself am very, very proud of my undergraduate students, which they are extraordinarily different from the others. Moreover, we also have researchers between 2 institutes visited each other many times to provide workshop, special talk, keynote, and research collaborations. Many of the research work produced from the student internship activities in Japan were published in several peer-reviewed international conferences and even won the Best Paper Awards. And we got another one from last night. Some of them were also further developed to be senior project and master thesis and won some prestigious awards nationally and internationally. It's remarkable and unbelievable. So the planned activities after the establishment of the ICE Thailand I3 Satellite Unit and MARU include the collaborative research in 3 research themes, including cybersecurity, virtual reality, and health data analytics and collaborative visualization, and also collaborative symposium and workshop, such as the MARU symposium and workshop session later on this morning. The activities of this collaborative satellite unit will include stimulating and coordinating joint research activities, technology transfer, to facilitate students and faculty exchange, workshop, liaising with relevant organizations, organizing information meeting, co-working, and hopefully we will try to seek for some funding. I3ICE will send some researchers to carry the research activities and give some seminar workshop to the students every year. So I would like to thank ICE and Mahidol University and the Embassy of Japan for the strong support of this collaboration. Most important of all, I would like to thank researcher members, faculty members, staff and students of ICE I3 and Mahidol ICT to work on this collaboration, particularly Wasaka Sensei from ICT, Royce Sang, Jason Sang from I3, who provide strong passions during this hardworking, fruitful friendship between Thailand and Japan. I hope this collaboration will be an important milestone for the development of high-quality research and innovation for a foreseeable future. So thank you very much for everyone.
Thank you very much, Associate Professor Dr. Charan C. So the next event will be a quick photo session with the President and honorable guests, please. Mr. Shiro Terashima and Professor Tanaka, please. And also delegates from ICE. Okay, thank you very much. So the next section, I would like to invite all the honorable guests to go down the escalator on the right-hand side of this room once you walked out. And then we will go down to the room 333, third floor of this building, to visit the Maru Rap. And I also invite all the participants to visit the Maru Rap together. Also the students and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. So please follow us. And the next symposium will start at 11:10. So please be back here by 11:10 for the symposium. Thank you very much.
The biomedical research project information of R2R data. So after we decided to extending the MedTivis into the stage 2 environment, so we need the stage 2 native application. So the stage 2 native application will allow us to display a large amount of information and visualization, as I mentioned, of the feature of the stage 2 software. And the example of powerful application that were developed in stage 2 native application is the Parasage. The Parasage is a visualization framework that used for analyzing a large amount of data. And it is an extending work from Paraview. That is a data analytic and visualization platform on traditional web-based. So the Parasage is used the advantage of the Sage 2 to display a large visualization and also take an advantage of the collaborative workspace for collaboratively work of the scientists. So next, I want to talk about our system architecture. So in order to develop the Sage 2 native application, we divided our software architecture into components. First one is the server side. So the server side will consist of 3 server side. That is a MySQL database server that kept on the Amazon Web Service on cloud. And the SQL processing unit that will consist of 2 processing units, one from the existing one from the MedTivis, and the another one is the newly implemented from MedTiSage. And the processing unit will never compute if it's not commanded by the web server. And the another component is the client part, the client side, that will consist of the MedTiSage application and the external API visualization library. So the web server will work as a bridge to connect 2 parts together by providing the data to external API to generate the visualization to application. So next, I want to talk about our data visualization design. So from MedTivis that have a lot of visualizations on it. So in order to get the insight of the data clearly in Sage 2 application, we have to select the type of visualization that we want to use based on the user need in our application. So the visualization that we selected are the multi-relational network graph, map, radar chart, word cloud, and bar chart. So I want to start with the first one. The multi-relational network graph is used for represent the relationship from node, each node, that represent the disease, organ, and symptoms. Next is the map that represent the medical research project distribution across the Thailand. Next one is the radar chart that is used to visualization to represent the expertise area of the researcher. Next one is the word cloud that used to represent all of these disease that being researched on the R2R Thailand. Next one is a bar chart that used to represent the budget, total budget that spending each year. So after we know about the visualization, so we decided to separate the screen into 8 parts. First one is disease relationship, research distribution, disease, budget information, research list, research detail, researcher detail, and research usage level. So from 8 parts of this, we more focus to these 3 parts that are disease relationship, disease research distribution, and budget information. And we also increase the proportion size of this part to encourage people to look at it and easier to understand and clearly to understand. So next, I want to talk about our overall result. This is our application looks like, and you can see that every of the visualization have the meanings on it, and we also have the evaluation setting that we compare with the MedTaiWis that we used to, and then we compare together to see the result of that. That is exactly one or not. And then next one, I want to talk about the conclusion and future work. For our conclusion, we're using the Sage 2 to increase the capacity and effectiveness of the traditional visualization tools. And we're developing the Sage 2 native application to display the R2R research data, and using the 5 visualization method to display 8 categories of the data. For the future work, this work will act as a foundation to our further development in Thai Sage. That is a decision support system for policymakers. So that's all of for my presentation. Thank you.
Okay. We have time for some questions. Are there any questions? It's crystal clear. Everyone understands. So I have a question for you then. So, I mean, I'm part of the project, so, but one of the questions I had was, can you explain why we picked the particular colors on the map?
The particular color on the maps, it represents the number of research that distribution on that particular province. So for example, this map, you can see the color that rapidly change between red to green. And red is mean in that province is have low number of research projects that occurring on that province. And it will scaling up to green one that is a lot of project is being on that particular province.
Okay. but I'm going to press you then. So, but compared to the previous visualization, they use just a green gradient of green. Why do we choose red and green? Why do we choose this particular color scheme?
So the reason that we use the red and green, because in the old visualization, that is used only the green one. You can see that it's harder to see if the number of research is almost exactly the same or in the closely range. So you can see that around the middle of the map, if you can see in the monitors, the color of green is almost exactly the same if you didn't focus on it. So we changed the color scheme to red and green to separate the difference of the visualization and the colors.
Good answer. Any other questions?
Not really a question, but maybe I can help add on a little bit. The original designs of the first version, Menacia, they use the green because the majority of the user will be the researcher. So we did not really want to give a contrast color to make the different feeling, to give the different feeling for the user. That's why they use green tone to let you know that green means, oh, very, very good. If the light green, then, oh, you should do something about it. However, for MedThai-Sage, you are aiming on the decision maker. So decision maker contrast color will help a lot. Once you spot the red color, it means, oh, you need to do something. You need to make some decision about it. Okay, so that's the different perspective and idea. Okay. But your presentation is very good.
Okay. Well, with that, thank you very much, Chirayu. So I have some certificates here for your presentation. So could we have the other, do I need to give to each of the co-authors or just to him? Is that, I can just give it to him? Okay. Okay. In the interest of time, we'll just, these are for all the co-authors. So I'll put you in charge and you can distribute them to everybody, okay? Nice job, thank you. Thank you. Okay. All right, so let us move on to the next presentation, which will be given by, and I'm sorry, I have to apologize. My Thai pronunciation skills are really not good, but this will be given by both VIP and Guide. The presentation is called A Scalable and Low-Cost MQTT Brokering Clustering System. And so, Vip, Guide, why don't you go ahead and we'll get started. This is also, the co-authors are, of course, Vasaka, Royce, myself, and Dylan, of course, because we used Sage 2 a little bit in this as well. So, yes, so for those of you who maybe came in late, we're switching the order because they did some work with Sage 2 and it's related to Sage 2, so we tried to group those together. So. Okay, and so clearly they're going to give a joint presentation. So, okay, so are you guys ready?
Okay, thank you, Jason. Hello everyone and Ohayo gozaimasu. My name is Pongnapat Jutha Thamakorn with my friend Thinapat Phirawat. Today we're going to present a scalable and low-cost MQTT broker clustering system. This project we did during the internship at AIST Tsukuba, Japan, with the advisor Ajahn Wasaka Visuti Viset, Dr. Ryosei Takano, and Dr. Jason Haga, with some participants from the University of Hawaii, Dylan Kobayashi. So today, the agenda, we're going to focus on the introduction, system overview, load balancer, MQTT broker, visualization on stage 2, and conclusion and future work. For the introduction, this project is divided into 2 parts. For the first part is the MQTT broker clustering system, as nowadays the IoT is widely spreading across home, enterprise, and industry. So many users aim to connect devices to use in their organization. But to connect a lot of devices, it needs high performance of server, which have high cost. Therefore, we're gonna building a scalable and low-cost MQTT broker clustering system. For the next section is the visualization on stage 2. Because after we build the clustering system, we found out that it's difficult to detect the problem in the cluster node. So it needs to be monitored. So to visualize the large amount of data on a node in the cluster, it would not fit in one screen. So we design and implement our dashboard to show in the stage 2. There's what is stage 2 that Thinapat will describe later. So what is MQTT? The MQTT is a lightweight topic-based publish subscribe messaging protocol for connect device to device. It's properly used in IoT network. For example, if you have smart bulb and you want to open by mobile, so it needs the server. In IoT, we call it broker. So to connect those devices, you have to set the smart bulb to subscribe with the topic name, maybe mobile, to the broker. And to use the mobile, then you publish the message with topic mobile with the message turn on. Now these 2 devices can connect together and you can send the message turn on to the bulb. And here is the overview of the proposed system. The MQTT load balancer is act as the gate central between the client and the broker. So to client to connect the broker, it have to pass through the MQTT load balancer. For the MQTT load balancer method, we use hash-based method. As to connect the client and the broker, it have to establish the connection. So it will send the connect packet. Inside the connect packet is contain the client ID. So we hash the client ID and hash it to identify which broker they're gonna connect with. Here, this graph shows the data flow of the published message. The client sends the connect packet with the client ID, send to the load balancer, and then the balancer will hash it and send to the broker. After that, the broker will send the acknowledgement back to the client, and then client can publish the message to the broker. For the subscribe, it's the same as the publish. The client send the connect with the has the client, and then the broker send the acknowledgement back. But this time, the client subscribe the topic that they want to subscribe. It will send to the broker, then the broker will send the message back to the subscriber. Here is the experimental setting. We use ThinkPad and the Raspberry Pi. We use ThinkPad for load balancing, and we use Raspberry Pi for the broker. Most of it is just the same kernel, that is Linux. It adds some additional software. For the NGINX load balancer, it's open source for web serving, reverse proxying, and load balancing. So first, we install the NGINX into the ThinkPad, and then we add the IP address of each node in NGINX. And then we implement the engine script to cache the connect packet and hash the client ID. For the MQTT broker, we use Raspberry Pi 3 Model B with the software Raspbian OS, Docker, and Mosquito. To implement it, we have to install on each broker, Docker on each broker. The Docker is a container with its pack or the application, the resource that we use to run the application into one packet. So it's very proper for run the application in the different architecture. After we install the Docker node, in Docker is provide the function named Docker Swarm, which is a cluster orchestration management system. Then we join the cluster into the Docker Swarm. And next, we launch a Docker service named Mosquito, which is an open source for the MQTT protocol. It's very lightweight and easy to implement. So finally, the MQTT broker is running under the Docker and share internal storage residing in the cluster. Now to add the new nodes to the Docker Swarm cluster, we can do it very easily just by install Docker and then join the node to the swarm. Now the node can increase in cluster, so it's very scalable. Here is the experimental setting result. So the throughput and the 11 time compare between single broker and load balancer with multiple broker. We publish 500,000 messages from 500 clients. And they also show that with the load balancer and multiple broker, it allow 8.2 times faster than the single broker. Next, Thinapat will present on the visualization on stage 2.
Thank you, Punapat. Next, I will talk about the visualization on stage 2. I believe that some of you guys might still confused about or don't know about what is stage 2. Stage 2 stands for Scalable Amplified Group Environment, which is a collaborative framework on shared multi-tie display wall, which allows a remote collaboration with intensive data from different sites. It means that stage 2 user doesn't have to come discuss for the project within the one area, but if user have the access to the main site, they can come cooperate from their own building to the main shared display on the main site. Then, why we need stage 2 for the visualization? First, with the large amount of node, in the case of with the large amount of node in the cluster, one monitor display cannot show all information. If, for example, if the cluster has around 1,000 nodes, one monitor display capability cannot display all of the information. The user might have to scroll up and scroll down to see all information. Next is the high resolution multi-tie display wall can give better visualization than one single monitor. Because with the function of multi-tie display wall, it can show all information in the one place, which can give a better user experience for monitoring and analysis. And the last is around with the function of stage 2 is allow user to monitor and correlate data from different sites. Next, I will talk about the application that we implement to visualize the real-time data from the scalable cluster in the name of Cluster Sage. Cluster Sage is a cluster performance visualization dashboard native application that runs on Sage 2. The main objective of this application is to allow users can monitor and analyze the real-time data from every node in the cluster. And this is the system overview of Cluster Sage. As you know that at the cluster use the function of MQTT call to be the communication method. We also use this method in our application that we will act this application to be one client getting our data from the Raspberry Pi, but we will have Express.js. Express.js, which is the Node server, Node web server, to always subscribe every topic from every Raspberry Pi in the cluster. And then Raspberry Pi will publish all data to store in our Node web server. And then our Node web server will extract each data type to each visualization in the application. For the implementation, first we have to list all information that we would like to monitor and visualize. For example, CPU usage, RAM usage, temperature, network traffic, energy consumption, and each node status. For coding part, we divide into two parts. First, in the Raspberry Pi side, we have used the Python programming to getting all data that we want to monitor from using PSUtil module. And then we configure the MQ protocol to be the protocol for sending data to the application. For the stateful side, we have implemented the native application to visualize all data from the cluster. And then we have implemented the Express.js to be the middleman to always get all data from the cluster. And from all our implementation, this is the result that we have captured from the stateful in the AIST lab. You can see that we will have date, energy consumption, CPU usage, RAM usage, network traffic, each node temperature that we indicate by the color from green to red. And the last one is the node state that we will indicate by the color too. If the node is green, it means that the node is up. And if the node is down or have error, we will indicate by the gray color. To sum up, we have proposed a low-cost and scalable MQTT broker clustering system by exploiting Raspberry Pi computers and open source software like Nginx, Docker, and Mosquito. The experimental result leads to our optimistic conclusion that for the security of the proposed system. And finally, we also have demonstrated a Raspberry Pi cluster dashboard application on stage 2 for performance monitoring and analysis. For future work, we are looking for the fault tolerance for the practical use because right now our current implementation has no redundancy for data or message. Therefore, the data can be lost when the back-end broker is down or crash. And a distributed KVS is a promising technique. For the visualization application, we're looking for that our application can visualize more data type on the dashboard. For example, we might can visualize each node data, storage, capability, and usage. And this is our reference. Before we ending our presentation, we would like to thank you, our faculty of ICT and AIST/ITI lab, for all the hard work and for giving this priceless chance to all our 7 students to have a chance to go internship at Japan. And we would like to thank you all our professors, Dr. Ryosei Takano, Dr. Jason Haka, and Acharya Wasaka Sensei for all of their support and suggestion to let us finish this work. And finally, we would like to thank you everyone in here for attending our first international conference. Thank you very much for your attention.
All right, very nice. Any questions? We have time for a couple questions. That's great. Second, perfectly clear. Everyone understands. So one question I had, since I was partially involved in the project, so people may wonder what was the challenge in actually getting the data from the broker into the visualization? Like, what were the challenges there?
The challenge for getting data from the cluster to the visualization is to have the challenge about the time for sending, because if we want to make the real time, the time that we have to send and receive, we have to calculate for the precise time that if we want to make it the real time, how much second that we have to send, because for the communication between from the cluster and Raspberry to the application, it might have some obstacle between it in the part of HTTP request. Yes, so we have fixed about that, which is a really big challenge for us, and we think we can make it. Thank you.
All right. No other questions? All right. Well then, in the interest of time, I have some certificates here, and I will put you guys in charge to distribute it to the rest of the co-authors, all right? But congratulations. Thank you very much. Very nice presentation. All right, so let's just move on to the third presentation. Go ahead, why don't you go ahead and get up there. All right, so our third presentation is by Dao, and she will be presenting work that is titled Evaluating the Power Efficiency of Deep Learning Inference on Embedded GPU Systems. And she worked with Professor Vasaka as well as Royce. So, okay, you ready? Okay, go ahead.
สวัสดีค่ะ Good morning everyone. I'm กนกวรรณ ลุงทรัพย์ทวีคูณ from Mahidol University. Last summer, I had a chance to do internship at AIST in project about evaluating the power efficiency of deep learning inference on embedded GPU system, supervised by Dr. Takano and Ajahn Vasaka. Today, I would like to tell you about our project, include why we start the project, how we did the experiment, and what about our result. So let's start with the first part, an introduction. Nowadays, there are many embedded intelligent vision systems that can detect objects from camera using deep learning, such as face detection on smartphone, vision for self-driving car, and autonomous robot. These systems need to work under low power consumption because the source of energy comes from battery. So it is important to care about power consumption for implementation, and if it is possible to find the best technology in high accuracy of image recognition and low power consumption, it will be useful for future development. Consequently, our goal of the project is to evaluate the power consumption of deep learning inference on embedded system NVIDIA Jetson TX1 and NVIDIA Jetson TX2. And that's why we start the project. Next, moving on to how we did the experiment. To compare the power efficiency, we use a value of mean overlay precision over energy, implement deep learning called YOLO on darknet framework, test dataset from COCO 2014 validation image dataset, and evaluate on Jetson TX1 and TX2. You may wonder what is YOLO. YOLO stands for You Only Look Once. It is a real-time object detection system that applies a single neural network to a full image. To describe how does it work, look at this picture. The network divides an image into several cells. Each cell predicts the bounding box and show confidence score. The confidence score represents a probability of how certain that an object exists in the box and the predict class is correct. After that, the bounding box with high confidence are shown with the predict name. And this is example of YOLO output that include bounding box and predict name for each object. Another one is about our evaluation method. We apply evaluation method from LPIRC system. It is a challenge that supported by IEEE Rebooting Computing, whose participants are asked to propose the idea to make image recognition has high accuracy and use low power. It focuses on object detection and uses dataset from ImageNet context. To evaluate the proposed solution, LPIRC consider power usage and performance. It integrates with power meter to measure energy consumption and use mean average precision with intersection over union technique to evaluate and calculate score. To calculate score, there are 3 steps. First, compare the predicted bounding block with Gauss bounding block by using intersection over union technique. Look at the left picture. The green block is Gauss bounding block that must be defined in dataset annotation, and the red block is the predict bounding block that is an output from image recognition. To find intersection over union ratio, it is equal to overlapping area divided by union area, and the higher ratio is better. Then compute 2 positive and 4 positive value. The process starts from setting accepted threshold equal to 0.5 and check whether it is a small object or not. The small object means that the size of Gauss bounding block is less than 25 by 25 pixels. If it is a small object, the accepted threshold is reset. Follow this formula to extend 5 pixels in each direction around the object because it is the average human annotation error on small object. Then comparing between intersection over union threshold and accepted threshold. If the intersection over union ratio is higher, 2 positive value is increased by 1, and it means that it is a correct detection. Otherwise, it is a wrong detection and 4 positive is increased instead. Next step, compute precision and recall follow this formula, and also find average precision for each level. And the last step, calculate mean average precision and score. To find the mean average precision, it is equal to sum of average precision for all levels divided by the total number of levels. And score is equal to mean average precision divided by accumulated energy consumption. About LPIRC system, there are 4 components: server, client, power meter, and another one is image recognition algorithm that is implemented in client. When client log in, servers send start signal to power meter to start the record and send test image dataset to client. Then client detect the object on each image and return the result back. Finally, after receive all result, server send stop signal to power meter and evaluate the result. That's all about our methodology. Next, about our experiment. To set up our experiment, there are 3 steps. First, set up LPIRC server on ThinkPad laptop for making evaluation. Second, implement YOLO in client for detection system. And the last one, connect Osaki watt checker to the system to track power consumption. About hardware, we compare 3 hardware: NVIDIA Jetson TX1, TX2, and Tesla P40. But please know that Tesla P40 is used to compare between embedded gate and server gate GPU. This table shows the comparison of GPU between 3 models. For Tesla P40, due to server gate GPU, it has very high specification and use very high power consumption when comparing with this. But to compare between TX1 and TX2, they use different architecture. And TX2 has higher GPU frequency and GFOP than TX1. And TX2 also use lower power than TX1. When using MACQ profile, which is a new function in TX2 called dynamic energy profile. And the dynamic energy profile allows user to adjust clock speed at runtime to match with user load and power efficiency, including T mode, MACQ, MACP, and MACN. MACQ profile use only ARM CPU, and has lowest CPU and GPU frequency, but it has an advantage in power consumption. The MAC-P profile uses Denver 2 and ARM CPU and has higher CPU and GPU frequency than MAC-Q, but it uses more power to run. And the last one, MAC-N, is quite similar to MAC-P, but it has higher CPU and GPU frequency. About our software and environment, there are three important software that we use in our experiment. First, CUDA. Second, CUDA CUDNN. It is work with CPU function. And third, OpenCV. It is used in machine learning and computer vision application. About environment, we run the experiment on Ubuntu with Python. In addition, C and Python are necessary programming skills to do this project. And this is our experimental result. We compare three models in 4 factors: mean average precision, energy, mean average precision over energy, that is used to measure which technology is the best, and number of frames per second. Also, we make the evaluation on different states of the system, normal and max clock. The max clock state set CPU and GPU clock to maximize frequency. From the table, you can see that all models have the same mean average precision because we use the same neural network model and use the same data set, so it is equal. For energy, Jetson TX2 with MAC-Q profile use the lowest power consumption and also has the highest score for mean average precision over energy. For number of frames per second, Tesla P40 has the highest number of frames per second that clearly different from TX1 and TX2 due to the high specification and very high power consumption. But to compare between TX1 and different mode on TX2, Jetson TX2 with MAC-N is higher number of frames per second than others. Therefore, Jetson TX2 with MAC-Q is the best technology for image recognition since it has high accuracy and use low power consumption. Another point is that we can choose an energy profile based on priority of performance and power efficiency. For example, if you work on the project that need high number of frames per second, but not much care about power efficiency, MAC-P or MAC-N should be a better choice than MAC-Q profile. Moreover, number of frames per second increase as the frequency of GPU is higher. In addition, Denver 2 core might not be utilized in your load because the MAC-Q profile does not use it but can be the best one. To sum up, our project is about evaluating power efficiency of embedded GPU that apply evaluation method from LPIRC and implement YOLO for detection system. The experimental results show that Jetson TX2 with MAC-Q profile is the most suitable technology for image recognition because it has highest power efficiency. And finally, for future work, using several hardware platforms and extending to apply this methodology with various kinds of deep learning algorithms, such as faster RCNN and SSD, can create more understanding about performance and power efficiency relation in embedded systems. Thank you for your attention.
All right, thank you very much. Any questions? Third talk, crystal clear. Well, we're on a roll. This is good. No questions. I don't have any questions.
Okay, well then if there's no questions, then why don't I go ahead and give you, again, I'll put you in charge. You may distribute those to your co-authors. So thank you very much for a nice talk. So. All right, so now, final presentation. So the final presentation will be given by Ta, and he will be talking about his project, which was VR Firewall, which is a virtual reality edutainment for firewall security concepts. He worked with myself and Professor Vasaka. So as soon as he gets ready, I did want to mention quickly that for all these projects, we have some videos, and the MedTai Sage is actually downstairs. So if you want to look at it more carefully and kind of play around with it, it is available. So for a little while this afternoon. So you're welcome to come down and check out the applications down there. I know Ara has a video of his. I don't know. Are you going to be showing the video here, or oh, you are?
Test. There is a video in the Maru lab.
Yeah, in
also.
the Maru lab.
Yes.
So it'll capture what he's doing a little bit better. So, okay, so go ahead.
So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Nandapop Puttawong. I would like to present my project, which is VR 5.4, Virtual Reality Edutainment for Firewall Security Concept. There are three others, me and Ajahn Vasaka from Mahidol University and Dr. Jason Haga from AIST, Japan. So it's lunchtime, so I would like to talk a little bit faster. So there are 5 main topics that I'm going to talk. First one is introduction. Next, objective, methodology, future works, and conclusion. Starting with introduction, network security is an important topic in computer science education. It helps students realize the importance of security, how to protect, how to prevent the attack from hackers or intruders. And firewall is one of the network security. It usually deployed at the first line of organization gateway, so many universities provide this knowledge to their computer science classes with the traditional lecture base. But the knowledge can be delivered to students with better in the form of edutainment, the combination between entertainment and education. So we explore the development by using virtual reality technology or VR to develop this application. The objective of VR 5.4 is supporting learners or students learning about firewall security. Methodology, VR 5.4 is developed by Unity 3D game engine with C# language, compiled on Microsoft Visual Studio 2015. For the design, this game based on the first type of firewall, stateless or packet filtering firewall. The theme in the game is fantasy role-play game or RPG. Player can interact with non-player characters or NPC. They can get items, complete a mission. The graphic in the game is rendered in the low polygon style. And of course, it supports virtual reality system as in the picture. So I would like to mention a little bit about packet filtering firewall. It is the first type of firewall that inspects the full field of the packet headers in the network, which are source address, source port, destination IP address, and destination port. As you can see in the figure, it is an example that provide in the real packet filtering firewall. So when the package that match firewall rules, it will be forwarded to the destination or will be discarded based on the rules. Then we come up with the ideas. Firewall can be considered to immigration or frontier control. When people would like to go from country to another, there will be a passport or visa that identify the origin country of people and permission to go that country. So the idea that represent the source port and destination port to item in the game is adopted from this concept. There are 4 conditions in the game which are primitive kingdom, which is source IP address, primitive kingdom items, which is source port, terminal kingdoms is destination IP address, and the terminal items is destination port. This is the example list of the component in the game. The first one is primitive kingdom, which is a source address. There are 4 kingdoms in the game: Dosa, Spurfia, Tinja, and Flagger. The names are modified from the attacking in the network security. For example, Dosa is from DDoS, Spurfia from spoofing. Next is primitive kingdom items. There are 4 items: Teneta runes 23, Simel rune 25, Dominia rune 33, and Hyper rune 80. The name of the item is from well-known port too. So the other 2 components is same as the first 2 components that I mentioned, just change the name. For the scenario in the game, player will be assigned as a package that must pass through a firewall. So player will be learning about filtering rules during the game and make himself match the rule in order to pass the gate. So here is the example of environment in the game. As I mentioned, it will be low polygon style graphics. Only 2 mechanism interaction were implemented in the game, which is pointing is the main function that used for control every almost action of the player, including pointing, player movement, selection, grab the item, and head gesture for interaction with the NPC and for the response for the main menu. Now, how to play? In the game, there will be a navigation above the player views, which are talk to an NPC and follow the clue. Next is get sort item and destination item. Third is go to a Stelesa magic barrier. Stelesa is the name of statelet or packet filtering firewall in the game. And then answer the Stelesa questions. So when you interact with the NPC, she will give you a clue about the 4 conditions that I mentioned. After talk to her, the player will know what is source address and destination address and the clue about source and address port. After that, the player have to pick up the item that correspond to the clues. For the teaching part, in the game, the player will be self-teaching that he can learn what is the components and the action of stateless firewall during the game. And there is another teaching part that is Book of Firewall, which is contain some basic information for firewall that player can read. And then, this one is required for player to read before achieve the special ending. So next will be the ending. In the game, there are 2 endings in the game. For normal ending, just answer the Stelesa questions. And for special ending, player have to answer the questions about the firewall. 5 questions correctly, no mistake to get the item to end the special ending. So in the conclusion, VR Firewall is the application that developed for teaching the concept of firewall security to computer science students at the university level. mainly focus on the balancing between education and entertainment. Due to this approach, the player must self-discover the knowledge of firewall through the gameplay independently. For the future works, we will perform a pre and post test to measure how player gain the knowledge, perform a survey for usability and the quality of the gameplay, and then continue the implementation further to the senior project, adding more topic about the network security area. So this is the references. Thank you for your attention.
All right, thank you very much. Any questions? Good, so we're 4 for 4. All presentations were crystal clear. That's good. Oh, you have a question? Great.
Before playing and after playing, how to measure the player that they have a knowledge about the firewall?
So thank you for your question. This part is the future work that we will going to do in senior project. So we plan that before go to the main scene, there will be some question in the game to measure the pre-test. And after that, after complete the ending that I mentioned, there will be a post-test too. Then we compare two score for pre-test and post-test and generate to the grade that how player gain much knowledge and how this application work properly or not. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, question.
In the part of scenario, in the teaching part, you tell you have the book through firewall to teaching how to play that contains some basic. And I want to know in the special or another thing that's not contained in this book, how the player know how to play your game.
Thank you for your question. You're concerning about how to play the game, right? So this will be adding more in the future work too. So, but yeah, this must be the tutorial or the instruction how to play the game, just how to interact, how to go to the how to go to other place, how to interact with NPC. Yes, and there will be the story that tell that there is some special book that contain the information about the firewall. And in the book of firewall, there will be written like a story based on this knowledge too. It's not direct give the information. Just what is the firewall, what the type of firewall. Just it written like in the story, in the fantasy. Yes, thank you.
Okay, if there are no other questions, then, oh, okay.
So, how much difficult
yes.
Do you create new content? So
yes.
I want to extend contents, more and more contents. So do you have plan to support for content designer?
Yes. How to extend the content in the game, that we plan that for the question or the quiz in the game, it would be better if we implemented the function that we can adding more quizzes later. For when the instruction would like to add more extra quizzes, so he can do with this function, but it's a plan in the future. The difficult.
The content designer does not design graphics, only describe scenario. Is it right?
Yes, please again.
So content designer have to design
Design,
graphics.
yes, graphic design.
Okay. So graphic design hard part to create content.
How I create the contents?
Yeah. So
yes,
I want to suppose such
almost in the graphic in a game just from the asset that free for the Unity engine and some modeling from the Blender 3D is a program for modeling a 3D models. And it's hard to decide the whole world of the game that I have to put a component of each part and compose it together.
Okay, I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with this part.
Yeah, so I think if I can add a bit of clarity, I think I can clarify the answer. So I think you're asking about how much effort does it take to create new graphical content, right? And it depends. So Tao used a lot of, for some of the characters, he used assets which were freely available, so you could just download them, so he didn't have to do any graphic creation. Other things, for instance, like the trees and some of the land, that was something that he had to create by himself, and that does take a little bit of time. I think, like, how long did it take you to create the trees? Like, that took you about, it was a couple days, right, to create the trees, I think. So it depends, you know. If you don't want to always use free assets, then yes, it takes some time to develop it. And it's not a bad idea to use your own, you know, creativity to develop the graphics instead of always downloading an asset. But it does take time. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Well, then, in the interest of time, why don't we go ahead and I will give you the certificates. Thank you again. Very nice. All right, thank you. All right, another round of applause for all of the presenters, and another round of applause, please. And with that, we will close the inaugural Maru Symposium. Thank you very much for all your attendance, and I think we made up a little bit of time. So the next parallel sessions will start at 1 o'clock and go to 4 o'clock. And I guess now is lunch, right? Okay. Yes, lunch. So, all right. Thank you again.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the lunch. For the next session, I would like to invite Associate Professor Kazumasa Omote from University of Tsukuba for the topic of towards highly dependable cloud storage. This will be the last keynote session for the conference. This will be, after this session, please proceed to the third floor of this building for the parallel paper presentation sessions. Associate Professor Kazumasa Omote is a faculty member of the Faculty of Engineering, Information and Systems of the University of Tsukuba, Japan. His research is in the area of information security, with specialization in network security, malware countermeasure, risk assessment for cyber attacks, cloud security, and sensor network security. Associate Professor Omote's labs has published numerous research publications in top conferences and journals in the area related to the information security, cyber attacks, and cloud-based security. Associate Professor Omote, would you please step up to the stage?
Good afternoon. My name is Kazumasa Omote at University of Tsukuba, Japan. So my talk is about toward highly dependable cloud storage. So our university is located near Tokyo and near ICE in Tsukuba. Yeah. So my research area is related to high reliable cyber attack countermeasure system. So this cycle of data collection, data storing, and data usage is recently very important. Furthermore, IoT security, the cloud security, and AI-related security are also important. In this talk, I focus on cloud security. This is the content of this presentation. At first, I describe background, so cloud storage server and data repair. Then I introduced related work and important preliminary technologies such as POR, the proof of retrievability, the network coding, the homomorphic MAC, say message authentication code, and orthogonal vector. After that, I explain highly dependable cloud storage system. This contains two parts, network coding-based POR and application, the data provision payment system. We deal with cloud storage server. A huge amount of data is stored on the storage server in a long period of time. If security is assured, cost may be significantly reduced since we can store data on cheap distributed cloud servers. However, there are security problems. That is, cloud server is untrusted. So for example, server may be down, the data may be damaged or corrupted, or a server administrator may leak data. In this talk, we focus on data repair and data integrity. In order to repair data, there are three methods such as replication, eraser coding, and network coding. In replication method, the same file F is stored in all servers. In eraser coding based method, so coded block is stored in each server, and if server 3 is corrupted, then the rest healthy server construct original file, then new coded block is generated. On the other hand, network coding based method, the coded block is stored in each server. If S3 server is corrupted, so the rest healthy server generate new coded block directly. So this is different from eraser coding. There are two goals in this scheme. The first goal is direct repair. The upper graphs show the not direct repair. The lower graph shows the direct repair. As an important point, our system uses symmetric key setting. So this means more efficient than public key cryptography. So at not direct repair, so at first, if server 3 is corrupted, so the rest coded block are returned to client, then check coded block using Mac. After that, compute new coded block. They then send new coded block to new server, S3 prime. On the other hand, at direct repair, at first, TPA check each server. In direct repair, so if S3 is corrupted, so a new server, S3 prime, get coded block from healthy server directly. So as a result, client is free from data repair. The difficulty is that so client doesn't give his secret key to new server. But S3 prime must check MAC, message authentication code, by another key. So this key is different from the original secret key. This is a difficult point. This is the second goal, so public authentication. In not public authentication, only client checks data. On the other hand, in public authentication, on behalf of client, TPA, the third-party auditor, checks data. As a result, client is free from data audit. The difficulty is that client doesn't give his secret key to TPA. This setting is not public key cryptography, but symmetric public cryptography. So, but TPA must check MAC by another key, not symmetric setting. But we use symmetric key setting. The symmetric key-based cryptography are used in this scheme. Here I introduce some related primitives. So secret sharing, PDP, so provable data possession, and POR, proof of retrievability. The secret sharing is very famous, and data is divided into a fragment, say share, and store it on distributed cloud servers. So this satisfies availability and confidentiality. In PDP scheme, it checks data integrity on cloud server, so satisfy integrity. And finally, in POR, so it combines secret sharing and PDP. So this scheme satisfies all of them, so availability, integrity, and confidentiality. We focus on this POR. This protocol is challenge and response protocol. So client, so data owner, generate a challenge and send POR challenge to cloud server. Then cloud server compute response and return to client. So this figure shows difference between PDP and POR. In PDP, client just checks the data, but in POR, client not only checks data, but also obtain, share piece of data. So as a result, the client obtain data for retrieve and repair. This table shows the future comparisons of related work. We focus on POR schemes based on network coding and symmetric key setting. These 4 schemes is related to our schemes. In CCAB10 and LM12, the direct repair is not satisfied. The third scheme, OT15, has a restriction about challenge response part. The last scheme satisfies all of these features. So my talk is mainly related to the last 2 schemes. This is the contribution of our scheme. At first, direct repair. So a current server provides coded block and their tags. The tags equals max. So directly to the new server. The new server can check the provided coded block and compute a new coded block and their tags. As a result, client is free from data repair. The second, the public authentication. So TPA can check the server data periodically on behalf of the client without using client secret key. And use spot checking. So the client is free from data audit. And we follow the proper challenge response procedure of POR. I explain POR as a preliminary. The POR uses a challenge response protocol from client C to cloud server S. The client checks integrity and retrievability of data stored on S, the server. The retrievability is that the original data is retrievable from a given number of responses. So this POR protocol has 4 algorithms. So keygen, encode, check, and repair. I explain network coding as a preliminary. The coded block is generated from the original file by network coding. So this part is file block F, and this part is augmented blocks. So file blocks plus the unit matrix. The final coded block include coefficient of linear combination, so like this. So CI equals consists of linear combination of augmented blocks. Thanks to these coefficients, so like this, so it repairs original data, this part, from coded block. I explain the homomorphic mark as a preliminary. So we use homomorphic mark proposed in HNS 2009 by Agrawal and Bonnet. So it's possible to verify data integrity by network coding. The authentication code of CIJ, the coded block, is like these equations. This mark indicates Carter-Wagner mark. This mark satisfies homomorphic properties. Then, given m pairs, vector, and tag, the tag of aggregated vector C can be computed as these equations. The final preliminary, so this is an orthogonal vector. We can generate orthogonal vector for a set of given vectors. So this algorithm has input and output. As an input, input a set of vectors, W1 to Wm. The output is a vector K phi, such that satisfying these equations. So K phi times W1 equals 0. I explain summary of this concrete algorithm. At first, it constructs a matrix M. Let pi 1 over M be a null space of M. Find Z basis vector. Then we find K phi from these equations. So K phi satisfies these equations. So this is an orthogonal vector. From now on, I explain our new network coding-based POR. We have 3 entities as a system model. So client, cloud servers, and TPA. The client provides 2 kinds of verification key to TPA and new servers. These 2 keys are used for data checking. So just verification key. These 2 keys are different from original secret key. This is an important point. I explain the entities of system model in detail. So client, cloud servers, and TPA. The client is trusted at first. An entity that has data to be stored in the cloud server. The client C assumed to be enterprise or individual customers. But cloud servers are untrusted. So entities that accommodate a service of data storage. It has significant storage space and computation resources. The client can store its data into a set of servers. The TPA is semi-trusted. So an entity that is delegated the responsibility of checking the servers on behalf of the client. And it be trusted in performing the task of periodically checking the servers. We consider following famous 3 attacks from servers. So replay attack, pollution attack, and tag forgery. In replay attacks, server saves a valid response from a past check phase and reuse it in the current check phase. In pollution attack, the server responds valid coded block to past check phase, but provide invalid coded blocks during the repair phase. Finally, in tag forgery, the server forges tag. During the repair phase, verification key is provided to SA by C, my client. Especially, I will explain pollution attack because it is a specific attack for network coding. The pollution attack is similar to expanding of air pollution. So this figure shows example of pollution attack in network coding environment. They assume that S1 and S2, 2 servers are considered to be healthy server, and S3 is corrupted. If S1 forges data, so this pollution is expanded, so new coded block is also polluted. We also consider attack from TPA as an assumption. TPA is semi-trusted, say honest but curious adversary. This means that TPA faithfully performs periodically server checks but try to run client secret key. The main purpose of TPA attack is searching client secret key. So TPA is given a key by client in order to check the servers, and TPA tried to search the secret key of C, client. In this attack, so brute force search from its own key and on Osbeck-Gen algorithm after collecting enough coded block from servers. Our scheme consists of 4 phases. So key gen, encoding, check, and repair. I will explain them in turn. In keygen phase, client generate MAC key and this is a file block from original file, and W1 to WM is augmented vector. This is okay. MAC is generated by this key. The important point is key generation of TPA and new server. The SKC, this original secret key, is possible to generate MAC, but these 2 keys is impossible to generate MAC, only verification. So in this key generation, so K5 or K5 prime is important role. So original secret key is K1 and K2, but TPA's key or new server's key is K1 plus K5. This change is very important. In encode phase, the client compute and distribute D pairs of coded block and tag to each server. So file is divided, file block, then augmented vector. And each coded block is generated by network coding. Then finally, mark or tag is computed from coded block. In check phase, so for example, TPA generate challenge and send them to each server. So in this example, challenge part is 1 and 4. So this point and this point. The server compute response and return. In this example, part 2 and 4, position 2 and position 4, return to TPA. So randomly chosen the position. Here, client does nothing. So free from this procedure. In repair phase, if S3 is corrupted, new server S3 prime conduct data repair by collecting enough coded blocks and tags from healthy servers. In the left side of example, S3 prime randomly chooses coded block 1, 4, or 2, 3 positions. Then gets combined coded blocks and tags as a response by spot checking. Then S3 verify these tags. Then finally, S prime obtained enough valid coded block and their tags. So many times challenge and response protocol. In both check and repair phases, client saves his operations. So in check phase, TPA checks each server data. In repair phase, new server can obtain new coded block. This is a security analysis of attacks from servers. So all of these probabilities are negligible. So these mean that our scheme is secure against server attacks. So we implement this scheme by Python to evaluate the execution time of each phase. Each file is divided into some blocks. So the file size equals block size times the number of blocks. So we clarify what the dominant parameter is. So the number of blocks or block size. This is a result of case 1. So fix the number of blocks and change the size, block size. So x-axis denote file size and y-axis denote execution time. So we found that the time is almost linear against file size. On the other hand, this is a result of case 2. So fix the size, block size, and changes the number of blocks. So we found from these results the time is almost constant against file size. So therefore, the dominant parameter is the size of blocks. Finally, I explain our data provision payment system using this POR scheme. I introduce one application using our POR, data provision payment system. We deal with not only data storing, but also data selling to user. In cloud system, data owner stores the data. In this system, data selling is conducted. However, there are two security problems. The one is that user may not pay enough money after getting data. We show how to prevent user retrieve for data without paying enough money. The user can only get share at each time. Share is random number, so satisfies information security confidentiality. The user must pay money to get next share. And the user can only recover file if gather enough data pieces, that is, more than threshold. Then original file is revealed. Another security problem is that the server may not provide valid data enough if getting money. The data owner can check data by mark. However, data owner doesn't want to share his secret key to user. So data owner's key is should be different from user's key. Because user is untrusted. So we can address this challenge by orthogonal keygen. In order to solve these two problems, we apply POR to data provision payment system. So users check each coded block, that means share, periodically. Thanks to POR, the POR features, both confidentiality and integrity are satisfied. The user can check the integrity of shares. The share is random, so satisfies information security confidentiality. I summarize my presentation. I introduced the following two content. One is a POR scheme based on network coding and symmetric key setting satisfying direct repair and public authentication. The direct repair is possible, so client is free from data repair, and public authentication by TPA is possible, so client is free from data check. The another is data provision payment system based on POR. So a user can check the integrity of shares. The share is random, and share satisfies information security confidentiality, and it exactly utilizes the proof of retrievability, say POR. That's all. Thank you for your attention.
Is there any questions from the audience? Okay, thank you very much, Associate Professor Omote. Now,
Thank you.
now may I invite Associate Professor Dr. Charansi Mithanon to step up on the stage to give a token of appreciation to Associate Professor Omote. Would you please? Next session will be parallel paper presentation session. Please proceed to the third floor of this building. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all participants of this conference. I hope you enjoy the conference and get home safely. We will see each other again in NCIT 2018 at Mahasarakham University. Thank you very much.